Hello, what's going on, everybody? This is your guy, Rashawn, aka Looker. Welcome to the Space Invaders TV channel here. Today is July the 8th, Thursday, July the 8th, 2021. And I want to say welcome back to my subscribers and all the new subscribers that I've gained. Welcome to you. Just to give you a brief breakdown, this is Space Invaders TV channel here. We're not in the business of bashing. We just state facts on whatever topic I'm touching on. Um, but as for the past month, I've been talking about the Guilford County school systems, and I feel it's my duty to speak on that. I have a child that's within the system as well. I never worked for the Guilford County uh, school systems or Guilford County. I never worked for the county itself. So I have no, it's not like I have some type of vendetta or, is any hidden agenda behind this. Only thing is I have a child here and I as well care about the children, and I as an adult working class citizen, I see the changes daily in this world. And especially if nothing else, 2020 has definitely showed us that business and things, how it was ran, how this country done business, will never be the same again. There are a lot of events that have happened in the last 20 to 25 years that have showed us that things will never be the same again the way we do business. Before COVID, the other event that took place that was ever changing, and maybe some may not ever felt that change in certain parts of the country because they didn't feel those effects. But when 9/11 took place, that was a time that if you don't understand, that was a thing that changed a lot of business within this country, that changed the mindset of the security of this country, because the security of the country was breached. The security system of this entire country was breached. So for that, everything was changed. So then we go along, and then we come upon the COVID. We come upon COVID in 2020. A lot of things have changed. Some businesses closed down. Some businesses are still holding on. People are figuring out still figuring out what they're gonna do. How are they gonna survive? What is the funding, whatever funding they receive, uh, is it gonna help them to sustain? But then we think about with all of that in 2020. Then with all of that in 2020, you know who was it talked about but almost forgotten? The children, the education. It was one thing, yeah, what happened in 2020 with the COVID, with the start, the surge of that, and children weren't, they weren't able to go play and play dates with their friends and things of that nature. But education took a nosedive, shut down. Yeah, the children had the option to learn on, learn on the computer, do the virtual learning thing. But we all know that the children, especially the young children, needed to be in the classroom. Some children didn't have access to Wi-Fi. They didn't even own computers in their homes, you know? So then what happened? Education took a nosedive regardless of what they said. You have children that have missed 2 whole school years. You have children, and we're just talking around the state of North Carolina. You have children that when the COVID happened in 2020, they were in you might have a child that was like in the 4th grade or whatever grade. They're now getting ready. They're going to be in the 6th grade when they get back into the classroom for this upcoming school year. It's like some of them gonna be like getting acclimated to, like, it's like gonna be like the first day of school all over again, like their very first time entering the classroom again for some, because that's just how long it seems that they had been out, and not in touch with anybody and just looking and doing on the computer. And let's be clear, how many children do we think really were locked in and focused on that? And I understand you have some children that it would have been hard for them even in a classroom. So you just imagine what it was like on a computer. So they went, there was so many other things talked about, that were important during 2020. Housing, food assistance, adults getting back to work or losing their jobs. Those are very vital and important things. Those are the hierarchy. And those were the hierarchy of needs: food, clothing, warmth, and shelter. We understand that. But education, it was talked about, but it was put on the back burner. So for us to have a bully running the schoolyards, a bully running the schoolyards, controlling a board member, doesn't seem to have an open door policy, receiving funds, having funds available for them, and the community and the parents of the children in Guilford County to not see or hear a thing about what's going on. We had 3 schools damaged in a tornado: Irving Elementary, Peeler Elementary, and Hampton Elementary. Let me hold on, folks. I'm going to repeat that again. We had 3 schools damaged in a tornado back in 2017, 2018. Irving Montessori, I say elementary, Irving Montessori, Peeler Elementary, Hampton Elementary. Money was received from that. $10 million. Could have been the start of something. You had to hear nothing. Irving Montessori sits disintegrating, sits dormant over there on Bessemer. It sits dormant on Bessemer in Greensboro. Why? As you see you seen a church that was next door to it. You seen a home next door to it. It took them quite some time to get their rebuilt, but they got rebuilt, the home and the church, and they look beautiful. But this school, and they didn't put both of those homes, the home and the church together, didn't even get half of what Guilford County Schools got for those 3 schools. Granted, Granted, one of the schools were like out of the three were terribly like damaged, but you could have had done something with two of the schools. But we have somebody in Ms. Contreras that's quite a manipulator. She seems to have set up a policy committee. This policy committee that kind of like works in her favor, you know? She put a sorority buddy in place. A sorority buddy that's the chair of this committee. Sorry, folks. She's the chair. She put a sorority buddy, one name, Betty Jenkins, as the chair of the policy committee. And Sharon Contreras sits as the staff liaison of the policy committee. So she has her friend sitting at the chair, and she's there. You know, they're both there. She's there. Why? Why, Ms. Contreras? This allows Sharon Contreras to pretty much do as she pleases. You know, I'm going to run down some of the names of the policy committee within the Guilford County Schools. The chair, newly elected Betty Jenkins. Vice chair, Winston McGregor. Kim Arby, Anita Sharp, and staff liaison Sharon Contreras. I want to note something here as well. There's been many concerns and whispers throughout the Guilford County school system about how Betty Jenkins being the chair, and she's the freshman. She's newly brought on board as the chair. She was brought in from Sharon Contreras, her sorority buddy. So we're going to play these games, and we're going to bring in people so we can manipulate and move things around as we please. But not doing anything for the students, huh, Ms. Contreras? See, Sharon, it was already talked and it's already been said that it's never been a superintendent to sit on a committee. They don't have time to sit on a committee. But Ms. Contreras, oh yeah, she has all the time. She got time because she ain't doing nothing else to sit on that committee. There's so many things she could be doing and making sure it's getting done out here. She can be going and getting some estimations for some work to be done around within these 125 schools that she is to oversee. She could be making sure some receipts are passed over to Guilford County for before the 229 million was given. I wouldn't say given, available. There was 15 million from the county that was available for Guilford County schools that she had not went and grabbed. She had. I'm not going to say grabbed because speaking from what the county, how the county had spoke, the county said, Ms. Contreras, no one has came for an estimation. They hadn't seen no receipts or any work done. They're not paying out nothing until they see work done. So, Ms. Contreras, why are you sitting on this policy board? Why are you sitting on this policy board? You're worrying about policy. You're worrying about controlling the policy. Why are you worrying about controlling policy instead of just doing what you know that needs to be done within this county, within the 125 schools that you are to oversee, ma'am? What is going on with you? Why are you so engulfed? Every time you hear about some money being put out there, you running to go to the money, but you're not going and you're not doing nothing with the money. what's so interesting about this whole thing is that when Sharon Contreras was at, because she came from the Syracuse, New York. She ran up out of there. She had a 5.5 year contract. She bailed out on the 5th year. Okay. She ran to the job here in Guilford County. Okay. And there were ailing problems. There were problems there. The same problems that we're experiencing here. But you know what's funny? She had to oversee less schools, 36 schools within the Syracuse. There were 36 schools she overseeing, and they had a budget of $364 million. Okay, that's the budget that she was dealing with. It was less schools with a higher budget than Guilford County. Guilford County, she's overseeing 125 schools now with a $254 million budget. That's $110 million less than her budget from that she was to oversee or had to play with in Syracuse. And that's not doing Eureka math. That's regular math. We not going all around the board and all around the corner with it. That's just regular math. That's not Eureka math, okay? So we trying to understand something here, Ms. Contreras. No one was happy with you in Syracuse. The Teachers Association, they voted. They had no confidence in you. And mind you, a lot of this information, some of the information I'm sharing with you, that I will be sharing with you, is part of some information that I got from Take Back Our Schools of Guilford County, of GCS. Okay, you can look them up on Facebook, and you can get quite a bit of good information as well. But a lot of the information I'm sharing with you is mine, of my own research as well. But what I'm about to read to you now, starting from right here and right now, is from, some of which comes from Take Back Our Schools of GCS. So, there were 17 city schools in Syracuse that were struggling. Mind you, I told you it was 36 schools she was overseeing, right? So half of them were struggling. So I see that, she's a runner. She's a track star. When times get hard, she gonna run, y'all. You know what I mean? She's gonna run, and that's what she did. And what made me definitely believe that Miss Contreras is a runner and a track star. When things get hard, she's gonna sprint up out of here, because in the height, in the midst of the pandemic in 2020, she was number 5 runner up for the Secretary of Education within the Biden administration. Why was that even talked about? She should have been focusing on getting the schools in order. You had money at hand to do what you needed to do. There were money in it that you had, that when the schools were shut down through 2020, you could have been getting some work done. Why wasn't any work done when the schools were shut down, Sharon? Why? That was the perfect time. School was shut down. You had pretty much 2 school years in the drain, in the toilets. No schools, no activity really moving around like that. You could have had some work being done. There were people sitting without jobs that could have did the jobs that you needed done. Yeah, there was. There's no excuse for that, Sharon. Why? Explain that to us. You know why? Because you were sitting on your hands, constantly running to the bag. What they claim, what they say, looking for the bag, chasing the bag, but not emptying out the bag on work that needed to be done. You were steady chasing the bag, Sharon, but not trying to empty out the bag for the work that needed to be done around here in these schools, the 125 schools. HVAC system, security, everything needed to be done. A whole lot of things need to be done. Upgrading and your technologies, everything, everything. You could have brought a whole new program. Could be bringing whole new programs, things that these children can latch on to, that they can relate to. Bringing different programs into the school, showing these kids today, teach them how to be entrepreneurs, teach them about real estate, teaching them about banking and investing. You know, us as parents, we could teach our kids that, but if they're going to school, let's continue to harp on things that they're seeing every day. Teaching them about, IT, but teaching them these things, bringing these things. It shouldn't have to be no longer today that we have separate schools. You have a tech school, and then you have your regular traditional. It can't be any more traditional education. We have to deal with what is today, what is going on today, that's going to be forever. The way of life now. We need to come back to hands-on training with things. Hands-on training. These kids are very bright. You understand? These kids come out of the womb today with technology in their hands, at the world at their fingertips. These kids, before they're even 6 months old, they're scrolling on phones. They're playing with their parents' cell phones. My child did it. I know you all's child did it. You know, they're scrolling on the phones. They're intrigued by technology. We're buying iPads for children. These children are playing video games. They can be creating their own video games, you know? What is going on? There's so much more to be done than what's being done. So I'm moving on. So the problems in Syracuse, the problems we're seeing here, the lack of communication, not seeing anything done, the same thing that Sharon was doing in Syracuse with lesser schools. So she couldn't do what she needed to be done within 36 schools, with 36 schools to make some sort of progress. Yeah, 36 schools, that's a lot. And if you got a lot of issues, maybe that, but you had 17 schools that had issues. 17 struggling schools. We talking about academic wise, we talking about building maintenance, we talking about the same things we talking about here. It was less schools. I want to understand, why was she hired to do this job if she wasn't properly doing her job in the place where she had to manage less schools, but a bigger budget? Explain that to me, not with Eureka Math. You got less schools, a bigger budget. You have more money to play with to do things. At least get some things started. Get some things started. And then if you need more money, then you lobby for the more money. Then you make your voice heard for the more money. But what we're hearing, Ms. Contreras, is you always running to the bag and asking for more money. But what are you claiming this is what they're giving you the money for? The county give you the money for this. But what do you really got plans to do with it? We never really hearing your plan, because you have no plan. Your plan is to front and act like you need money. You need this money, and you're actually not doing anything with it. You got 30% of the teachers, assistants, hall monitors, cafeteria workers, bus monitors, and other staff members in Syracuse, from a teacher union that was surveyed. 70% of the respondents, this is all from Syracuse, when at her time in Syracuse, 70% of the respondents were teachers, school psychologists, and social workers. Contreras boast school safety, but why hasn't it? You boast school safety here, you boast school safety there, but they had problems with school safety, the same issues we have in here with you, the same issues they had in Syracuse. Prime example here is why hasn't it been an upgrade in school security? In Guilford County, last known incident when a 14-year-old girl was attacked by two adults. Really, they say one adult, but it's really two, because it was, I want to say a 30-year-old and an 18-year-old. Those are two adults. In my eyes, you're 18, you're a young adult. And 6 other students. This all happened at Southern Guilford High School. Staff and faculty had to intervene. So Contreras, where is the school safety you boast about? Why? That was a prime example. If you supposed to been stepping up, you've been in this position long enough, and if you having enough money at your and within reach, you had monies available for you, but you just ain't doing nothing. You know, you run into the bag and count pennies, trying to make people think you need so much money, but it seems like a lot of money to me if you ain't doing nothing with it. You understand me? It's always a lot of money when you ain't doing nothing with it. Now, you got a lot of money sitting at your hands and doing nothing with it. Why? Why? So let's continue on. Sharon Contreras, your behavior here in Guilford County is nothing but a resemblance of what it was in Syracuse. You know, I like to always think too as well, like, you know, when people have bad behaviors, bad traits, it don't matter what job you go to. It don't matter if you transfer jobs in cities. Whatever, your bad behavior is gonna follow you. Your behavior, period, will follow you. If you're a stand-up person, you're about your business. It don't matter what company you go to. You're gonna stand on ethics and a code of ethics and morals and standards. You're gonna stand on that. You're gonna have that for yourself. So if you're gonna have it, if you got it for yourself, you should have it for the jobs that you are doing as well. If you hold yourself to a higher standard, ethics and morals, if you hold yourself to those codes, respect and honor, it's gonna display in your job. That's just common. I don't care what type of job you have. If you hold that code, those codes in life, if you approach life like that, you're going to approach your job. It don't matter what job you take upon, you're going to have that same attitude and approach. So, Ms. Contreras, you have no ethics. You have no morals. You have no code of any kind. You know, you wanted to jump ship in 20. It was put out there that you were going to jump ship in 2020. How are you going to take a job to be the Secretary of Education for the United States, but you can't even do your job as a superintendent within the cities in the United States? Man, if that ain't the most ass backwards, I don't know what. But you see, people, they want these titles. You just going for titles. That's all. She want to go for titles. She want to try to get this resume book and then make it look like she's doing so much. But when we pull back the sheet, Miss Contreras, or in this case, when we type up, you know, this technology today, you know, even the kids can type it up and see too. So when we type up your name, Miss Contreras, and we look back on your history is in the dumps, man. You know, it's in the dumps, man. If you ask me on a level from 0 to 10, you are 0 plus. How about that? You are really 0 plus, because the school you were at, they weren't happy with you in that district. They weren't happy with you in Syracuse, New York. You had a 5.5-year contract. You jumped ship on them in 5 years. That their board was in a transition. So you must have figured out that these new board members that were going to be coming in, they really weren't going to be messing with you. So you wanted to get up out of there, and you were looking for a new place to go. Greensboro popped up on your radar. You come down here. And I guess you must have sold them on that yes we can, that whole yes we can theory of thing. And so that's what it was, or whatever, because I don't know who really looked over you and seen anything, because they obviously, if I'm sitting here reading off what I'm reading off, I don't even know how the heck you get this job. I really don't. I really don't understand how you got the job, Miss Contreras. But we're going to keep moving on. What's more troubling to me, you know, which might don't seem much to others, but I just want to make a point here to some people about when it comes to, you know, what it means with you, whatever party, you know, you subscribe to, whether it be Democrat or Republican. I just want some people to understand something here that, in this situation, it really don't mean nothing right here, because what's more troubling is that the Guilford County Policy Committee is 5 out of the 6 members are Democrats, and guess who 2 of them are? Yeah, you guessed it. 5 out of the 2 members are the Democrats are Jenkins and Contreras. Jenkins, the head, the chair, and Contreras is the school superintendent, and she's the liaison on this policy committee. And everyone is always told that the Democrats are here they're for the common folk, working class people. They try to help out and make sure, but that's bullcrap, because these two here, you know, Miss Jenkins ain't gonna go against Contreras. Contreras put her in the spot. She put her in the seat. She ain't gonna go against her. How you gonna that's going back to the old saying. How you gonna bite the hand that feeds you? Huh? Yeah. And she probably gave a little more. They sorority sisters. She probably gave a little more money too. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna bite the hand that feeds you? So she ain't gonna denounce. She's not gonna go against the grain on anything. That if Contreras holler at her and say, "Hey, I want this right here," she's gonna make sure it gets voted on and it happens. She makes sure that chair, they gonna get what they need. She's not gonna go against her. You know what I'm saying? And I already know from the inside scoop, a lot of people feel like the hands are tied. Like I said to you before, the hands are tied. There's people within the education system within this county. Their hands are tied. They're scared to say certain things. They fear losing their job. I understand. That's why I'm here. Share it with me. Email me like others have done. Share some things with me. I will keep your name anonymous. I'm not in the business to do none of that. There's one common goal here is these children. And there's one common goal here to get this leech out of here. I wouldn't call her a bloodsucker, because I don't know, she's a leech. She just leeches on for her own good. She don't care about anybody else. She's what we call a leech. A bully and a leech. That's what she is. And it's about time you be gone, Sharon. Whenever your time is up, I really wish we need to band together and get her out of there before her time. But you see, my thing is, I'm all about putting you on blast, and I'm going to stay on your hind part until I'm heard. I'm going to stay on your hind part, Sharon Contreras, and I'm going to keep documenting every freaking thing that I see. Because I'm so sick of people like this. They come in and then you're taking advantage of these innocent children. These children need to be competitive and out here in this world. This world has been changed forever. And people are just acting like they don't see it. These children need to be competitive. They deserve that. I don't want to continue to talk about this racist thing and all of this thing that they're trying to push in the school system here. I don't want to talk about that. When children are born, the children go off of energy. Children don't know about racism. The adults put that in them. Children don't know about that. Children love everyone. They go off of a vibe. If a child doesn't feel you, if they don't like you, you will know it. If a child senses bad energy as an infant, they're gonna cry. It could be someone in the room that's maybe the energy is off. That child looks at that person and they'll just cry anytime a certain person comes around. We all seen it, we know it. So that person, children, they come out the womb, they sense things. And then as they start to grow, the children, they just go off of energy. The children love, man. They go with the people who like them. They make friends. That's why children, they start school, they always worry and concerned about who likes them in the classroom. They just want to be friends. They want to have fun. They want to learn. You have to make it a fun place for them. And today we have to connect with the children. We have to meet them where they stand. And where they stand is in the face of technology. We can't keep bringing all of this goofy way of thought like this. I keep harping on it. I know you heard me talk about it for weeks. This Eureka math. That is the dumbest thing to me ever on earth. when you speak, and that's one of the things of faults in the education system. Why are you teaching kids to go around the block to learn how to put 3 times 5? We know that it's 15. Then why do we have to waste time breaking it down? You freaking have a computer that even on a computer, they're not going through all of that. They just giving you, bang, this is what it is. Nobody has time to go through all of that anymore. The world is moving different. Why isn't the education system? How are we going to talk about we want the kids to be competitive, but we're still talking traditional ways of learning? It's a separation in our education system. It's been a separation in this country between man. And there's a separation, and it's spilled off into the education system from hatred from the 60s. So everyone's thinking, you can't think racist. Let me explain something to you. If you're Caucasian and you're in the school with a black child, and you're in a district, and you're in a city that's like, you know, and your district is not getting help, your child is in the same boat. Okay? Let's just get that right. If you're spending money for your child to go to school, you're in the same boat. Because you got to spend money for your child, for you to believe that your child is getting a better education than anybody. You shouldn't have to pay for education for a child. It should be all fair around the board, especially today. It can't be no separation. That we all they need to be on the same. They need to be getting the same shot at the education. So all of this, you know, you pay to go to school. You know, to me that sounds. I'm not. If somebody say, "Yeah, I pay for my child to go to this school," you know how I'm looking at you? Yeah, just like that. That's how I'm looking at you. Because you have no freaking clue. You shouldn't have to pay for your kid to go to school to get a better education. It should be all there on the board, and the people that are in charge, that is in charge, need to make sure that the teachers have the tools that they need to teach the children. Make sure of that. Why waste teachers' time like with Eureka Math, having teachers going to take classes to learn how to confuse that's confusing the teacher to teach the teacher how to confuse the children. You're teaching the teacher to confuse the children. Why the freak are we doing that? I just want somebody to explain, man. It's just common sense, man. Like, come on, man. So moving on. I want to do some critical thinking here, okay? Could we do that? Let's do some critical thinking. And some simple mathematics here. Not Eureka Math either. I swear I hate that. And I hate it for the children. I hate it as a parent to have to sit there knowing that I know what it is, and then I have to sit here and teach my child this. I hate it when it came out with it and they introduced it. The teachers were sitting there confused, and the teachers were saying, "I know it makes some sense to me." And it's like the teachers are with their hands tied, and they are forced to teach the kids this buffoonery. So if you're in a district when your child were already struggling, or it was a struggling district, and then you introduce something like that, you thought that was going to help? Give us the numbers, because I have yet to see the numbers on the Eureka, how it has really affected this county. How has it really helped? I have yet to see it. I have yet to see. If somebody knows it, please send me a link to where I can find out how the success rate of this Eureka Math system. That's just one thing. So, let me get back to this critical thinking and this simple mathematics. So, Ms. Contreras, the purchasing budget, she wants the purchasing budget to go from, she already get a purchasing budget of $149,000, $149,999. That's her purchasing budget. She can spend that however many times throughout the course of the year, right? Throughout the course of the school year. She wants that budget to go up to $350,000. That's $201,000 more. She got a repair contract budget. That's $300,000. She wants that budget to go up to $500,000. That's $200,000 more. She wants to take the project repairs orders off the table. You want to know why? Because that is something, the project repairs is what she's supposed to bring to the board members. The board members supposed to be able to look over that and approve that. But what she's doing is Xing wants to X them out of anything like her having to report to them. You have a deal in a every company has a board. They have to adhere to the board rules and procedures. Okay, they have to adhere to the board policies, right? Ms. Contreras is trying to go over them, and she's going over the board, just like, hey, you guys are nothing. I don't care about. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm the supervisor. I look high. I sit high and I look low. You're beneath me. I don't got it. I shouldn't have to report to you. That's total disrespect to the ones that are part of the school system and part of helping to steer things in the right direction. It's people like Miss Contreras that screws up everything. And then you'll wonder why you'll have the state come in and taking over your freaking school systems because people like her. You're gonna you so you're doing all of this and not trying to let the board, you're trying to go over the board's head. You're manipulating things with this policy committee, putting your people in place, and you're sitting there as a liaison, making sure that what you said to your sorority sister the day before gets done. So you're moving money around like this. I'm trying to figure out, you're moving all this money around, but you had $15 million that you never touched, and the county was trying to figure out why you didn't touch it. Why you didn't having people coming to do estimations? Why are they not seeing receipts on anything? But you keep asking for money. It's why, what I should say, when you had the $10 million from the insurance, then you had $10 million, you didn't do nothing, you still hadn't done anything with that, or at least we don't know what you done with it. We ain't heard nothing about it. We ain't heard nothing in the media, but we know why. We know why you haven't, because you feel like you're supposed to sit down with the board members and talk about things, but you don't want to talk about anything with the board members. You're trying to take that off the table and do what you want to do. And so the board members are not hearing anything. Whenever we getting knowledge on anything going on with the school system, the board members of Guilford County are finding out at the same time, because she has locked them out. There's no open door policy with Miss Sharon Contreras. You see, she wants to run a dictatorship. That's what you call a dictatorship, folks. She keeps her door closed to those that she feels are beneath her, and keeps it open to the ones that of interest to her. The board is no interest to her, but she understands that the board helps her shape the school system. But you're disrespecting and undermining them. Nothing but a stone cold recipe for disaster. When you run a dictatorship and you are to adhere to the people. Let's think about all the people who had that dictatorship attitude. I ain't gonna say no names. Let's think about all the people in history that were dictators, that had that mentality. What happened to them? What happened to them? What happened to them? You cannot run a dictatorship when you're dealing with the people, when you're dealing with the public. You cannot do things. You need to adhere to the rules that are put before you. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. There's so many things that need to be done, and I'm going to stay on this woman's hind part until something gets done, until some changes get made. Like I said, I have never worked for the county. I have never worked for the school system. I have no other my only intention is about these children, and I have a child that's in the school system. So I have no other, it's no hidden agenda at all. But all I'm going to repeat and I'm going to say again, if you are a teacher, an educator, if you are within the Guilford County school system and you got information you want to get out, send it to me. Let me know. If I'm saying something wrong, correct me. But I've done my research and I've had others contact me and thank me for me just speaking out. I understand. I've worked in companies where you felt like, and in management and things, and felt like, you know, I'm not able to do my job as I need because I have a dictator ahead of me. They want to see numbers, they want to see things changing, but I'm boots on the ground. But you're not letting me do what I need to do. You're not providing me the tools to make your business successful. But when the things go bad, the management is on the front line. They're front line, so they're getting the stones and rocks thrown at them. I don't want the. I'm not here to throw the stones and the rocks at the teachers and the principals. Anybody in the education system, I'm not trying to throw the rocks at you. I'm seeing and knowing where it's coming from. But I also had the feeling and known that something was going on that you're not hearing from certain people that you should hear from. I understand that some people just want to keep the job, but sometimes you got to speak up. You got to say something. I'm not here to blast and put like, anyone share anything with me, put on blast. I'm a common everyday tax-paying citizen with a child in this community, within this school system. And I understand. I'm not here to put anyone on. I'm not here to put anyone that's going to share anything on blast. But I do ask this from the parents, from anybody in the education system. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? I'm sharing information. You got folks that take back Guilford County schools, take back our schools at Guilford County. You know, you got those folks there. You have other groups out here speaking up, been speaking up. I have to be honest, I just started speaking up a month ago about it, but because I've been talking about so many other issues around the globe and things of that nature. And, my whole thing is each one teach one. That's what Space Invaders is about, is to each one teach one. That's part of our mission statement. And that's what it's about. And I just felt the need that I have to talk about the school system because I've been so puzzling as to why, things, you're not seeing things done. And I'm speaking firsthand. Like I said, my child went to Urban Montessori. And when that school, yeah, they made the provisions. They moved swiftly. Once the tornado happened, they moved swiftly. There, I can't blame man for a natural disaster. But what I blame man for is what happened after, still to this day. No, nothing. You hadn't heard anything about the schools, the money. You been got the money. You had the money for years now. After that tornado, where have you doing with the money? What are you doing? What is happening? I couldn't keep my child in the other school that they had to go to because it was out of the way for one. And then it was no real direction. Like, okay, what's the mission? Is it when is Urban Montessori going to be built? Renovated or whatever. Like, when is anything going to get done in that school? Is anything going to get done in that school? Or are they just going to stay within this school, this other school here? Like, what are you gonna do? Nothing. Crickets. Crickets. Went to a school board meeting at a church. And all I could do was watch Sharon sit there, and I don't know if that was her assistant. I don't know who this lady was that was with her at that time, but she stepped behind that lady, and it was like she didn't know nothing. And listen here, I don't have to be within the school system to sit back and pay attention and observe and see that this lady knew nothing what she was doing. I too come from management, okay? Being a superintendent is nothing more than management. It's just a different name, okay? But you have money, large budgets to play with, versus me being in management out here for said companies or whatever, and you're not doing anything with it. I know why, because you don't know what to do with it. All you know is to ask for it. You don't know what to do with it, Miss Contreras. And it's about time you learn to get out the way and let somebody else who knows what they're doing do the job. Because from what I'm seeing right now, to be honest with you, and I'm just putting on my, I'm just in my manager bag right now. If I had to hire you, and I was in management for 10 plus years, okay? If I had to hire you, I wouldn't hire you for that. What I would bring you on is let you shadow. See, you might have the education level or whatever, but it just don't stop there. Yeah, for someone to get experience, they have to do the job. If you had a shot to do the job, you were managing, you were overseeing, you were supervising a district there in Syracuse with less schools than there is here in Guilford County. Guilford County has 125 schools that you are to oversee. Syracuse had 36 schools. 17 of them was in trouble. You struggled with that. You had a bigger budget as well. Let's go back to that budget again. You had a $364 million budget when you were with the Syracuse school system. You had a $364 million budget at your hands. And some may say, oh, that wasn't enough. I don't know what's enough. I don't know what's not. But I know if you're not seeing anything done, then what you have is enough. Because you ain't using it. That's critical thinking. That's math, basic math. Right there, without even putting on numbers. That's a word problem for you. Some might say or argue, 36 schools with $364 million, that's not enough money. But it is enough money if you ain't really doing nothing with it, right? That's a lot of money. It's when it starts to deplete and you're spending it is when you say, oh, I'm short on funds. But you have all the money if you ain't using it. You know what I'm saying? So if you got $364 million, you got 36 schools, and you ain't using it, how much money do you have? That's just simple math. That ain't Eureka math, y'all. That's just simple math. That's what we deal with every day. Simple word problems every day we deal with. Okay? So then when you come to Guilford County schools, it's 125 schools, $254 million. Now, I could say out of 125 schools, $254 million, that don't sound like enough. That ain't a lot. You know what I'm saying? At all. That's not a lot at all. But it's still, if you got $254 million with 125 schools, and at the end of the day, you still had $254 million, then how many schools got fixed or got upgraded? All right, that's another word problem for you. That ain't Eureka math neither. So that's all I'm saying. Just simple questions, man. Like, what are we doing here? Why is she there? This woman doesn't, and I'm not speaking from a place of some type of hatred. I don't know that woman. I've just observed, like many of her. I've been in her presence twice. You know. Let me repeat to you, Miss Sharon Contreras. Let me speak to you right now, and any of your constituents that may work up under you, your assistants and things of that nature. Let's get one thing clear here and one thing only. You ought to service these children. This is your job. It's what they hired you for. You ought to be a service to these children. Not so much the parents. These children you ought to be a service to. That is your job. But what I gather here is that you're servicing yourself and you're servicing your friends and your special interests. You're disrespecting board rules and regulations. You set up a purchase. You're set up to purchase whatever you like. As many times out of the year, you can use $149,999 to purchase anytime you want. Yeah, I think they said it was set up for during the COVID, but I think that's probably going to try to stay in play. I think you're fighting to keep that in play where you don't need to go to the board and make those rules. I think you're really fighting to keep that that whole setup there where you don't have to report to the board for anything, to show any receipts or anything. I would love, as the public, we should be able to see the receipts. Us as parents, we are tax-paying people. The taxpayers should be able to see what you're doing with this money. Whenever money is being moved around, we need to be able to see it. It needs to be somewhere that we can actually see it, and it needs to be present to us. We need to know. I shouldn't have to guess. Where can I go to see this? Okay? It should be a designated spot for this for us to be able to see this. You want to constantly boost money up. You want to raise that purchasing budget from $149,999 to $350,000. Tell me, Miss Contreras. Better yet, tell us just what you will be spending this money on. What you got plans to spend this money on? Because you're constantly going out here asking for more money, but you're trying to raise the budgets of what you already got in front of you. But if you're not, as I said before, we're going to do the math again. If you have $149,999,000 at your tips, at your availability, and you can use it any time out of the year, right? If you use that 2 times out of the year, what is that? So that's $300,000 pretty much, right? Because we just gonna round this off to 149,999,000. We're gonna round that off to 150,000, right? That's simple math, right? We're rounding off, right? To the nearest, to the highest. Okay? So we round that off actually to 150,000. If you use that twice out of the year, that's $300,000 right there. But see, what you want to do is raise that one. You want to raise that 150 up to 350,000 for one time. Like you raise it up so every time. So what are you going to be doing with that? Okay, we just want to know. Tell us what you're going to be doing with it. Tell the public. Tell these parents what you're going to do with that. How is that going to help our children out here? The construction repair contract, you want to raise it from $300,000 to $500,000? Why? Who you trying to pay more money? But you ain't doing no work. Getting no receipts done out here. We ain't hearing about nothing. You owe the public, Ms. Contreras. You owe us some. You owe the parents. You owe these children. What are you doing? But us as the parents, we standing by. I'm here and I want to hear. What are you doing, lady? Don't worry, I'm going to wait. And I'm going to stay on you until we start hearing some things. Either you going to talk or you going to walk. Which one is it? One or the other, you're going to get up out of here. We already know you're looking to get up out of here. It was put on blast from the news. It was put on blast from the news. You tried to get the job. You had your hand your hat in the game to try to be the Secretary of Education for the Biden administration. Yeah, I don't know how the heck you thought that was gonna happen. Like they ain't gonna check your background and see you ain't done nothing from Syracuse to North Carolina. You ain't done nothing. Failing system. So how they gonna put you? They gonna put you where? Nah, you might have fooled some, Miss Contreras, but you ain't fooled everybody. But I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm your guy, Rashawn, aka Looker, and this is Space Invaders TV. And I ain't moved by you, Miss Contreras. But I'm gonna move by you. You know what I'm saying? Understand that. And I'm gonna watch you. And I'm gonna keep talking and speaking on you. And I encourage any parent that is watching this video right now to send me any information you got or questions you want me to ask. I want you to also think about what is our next move? What should we do? Should we protest? What should we do? Should we write? Should we get some type of to put an action plan together and go to these board meetings and show them what we need? I can't do it by myself. Take back our schools at Guilford County can't do it by themselves. And all the other groups that's out, they can't do it by themselves. So what shall we do? Because I'm putting it out there as well through video. You got others putting it out there through literature. What should we do? Because this has to stop. We can't continue to allow people to run government, our governments, or anything like that. We're tax-paying people. We can't continue to allow people to think that they can sit in front of us, and some of them think because they may have certain education and degrees, or they are part of certain type of fraternities or sororities, to think that they're gonna just come out here and just do everything that they want to do, and they're not doing what they should be doing. They talking about things and not actually doing it. They're trying to make it look like something, but what they fail to understand with some of those people that today it is technology, and you cannot hide what you're doing. It's going to be put out there on you. And you don't have to put it out there. Someone's going to put it out there on you. And there are going to be people like me and others who are going to be following up and holding you accountable for what you do. And I'm gonna end this in closing right here. I'm gonna end this right here. What we need from this superintendent of schools, of Guilford County Schools, and Ms. Contreras and her constituents. We need transparency. We need accountability. We need truth and honesty. That's what we need for the children, the teachers, and the parents. We need that. You want to show respect? You want to show that you care about the students? Then do that. But as I said earlier, I don't care what your title is and what group you represent. If you walk around yourself and you don't have morals, ethics, truth and honesty in you, then it's going to show through your work and everything you do. You see, let's just take for instance, when you see the scholars, when you see the athletes and actors, those that take pride in themselves, they carry themselves away. It's going to show in their work that you will appreciate. When you're around them, you feel a certain type of air about them, an aura. They bring that air with them. They hold themselves to a high standard. They talk to you in a certain way. They look you in the eye. They look at people and they understand that we are equal, no matter what I may have obtained through a degree. We are people, and they're going to respect you as such. And they're going to share with you what if they feel that you may not know something and you are interested, they're going to share with you because they have ethics and morals. They have respect, principles. So the principle they stand on is they're not going to let anyone be around them that doesn't hold their head high. You got to be strong. They got to have somebody around that has respect. You have ethics. You're not just going to do certain things. You have morals and you stand on them. See, people with that, like myself, you take pride. You have pride. And you don't just have pride in a thing. You have pride in yourself. People and places and in things. You have pride in them. And you carry yourself. See, you see, if you have an ounce of that in you, and I feel you should have that when dealing with the children, most definitely. And if you don't have that, it's going to show. And that's what's happening right now. So all I ask y'all, each and every one of you that are watching, what do we do? What do we do? I'm down. But it can't be done by myself. We can't. One man can't do it. Two men can't do it. We got over 69,000 children within 125 schools in Guilford County. So what that makes almost the same in parents, right? That's simple math, not eureka. So we're going to need everybody on deck. That's all I'm saying. Everybody on deck. It can't be no excuses. If you care about your child's education, if you're a teacher, which I know there's many teachers out there that love their students, they love their school, they love what they do. And it hurts them to the core when they know that they're not able to give their children that they're teaching everything that they should have. All of it. There are teachers out there that just love their job. I know it. I don't know all of them. I don't know half of them. But I know it. I've come through a school system too, public school system. You have some teachers out there that just love their job. That, you know, they really dreamed of just teaching. This is their dream, to teach and stand and teach children and watch them and nurture their minds, help nurture their minds and grow them. That's a hard job to try to get someone as a child. I say big up to all the educators. Big up to all the educators and all the parents that stand for their child for education. Much respect to you all. I say big up to all the teachers that help to nourish these children from pre-K up. It's a lot to get a child to sit still and to focus in on something. But I'm going to say one thing. I said I was going to shut down and close early, but I just want to say one thing to get y'all to understand something. When I say we got to move these children to the times of right now, we have to meet them where they stand with this technology and showing them things, teaching these children hands-on, teaching them how to be entrepreneurs. We should introduce this more in school about real estate and investing and banking and IT, showing them how to create and build websites and things of that nature. They're doing it, playing these games. They just don't know it. But I'm going to say this. If you don't think that's going to interest them, you ever watch a kid, what they like in pre-K or kindergarten? They're locked in when they're building, when they're playing with the blocks, when they're coloring. They're locked in. They're locked in. They're learning. They're. You can get them there in a quiet place. You ever watch a kid when he's on a computer, when he's playing those games? They're locked in to that technology. It's not just the game. The game is the face, but it's the technology that got them locked in. That's all I'm saying. We have to meet them where they're at. We have to meet them where they're at and what interests them. They were born into this technology. They were born into these new ways of the world. And we have to introduce it to them. We have to be more hands-on. They shouldn't have to wait to get to college to actually get in the understanding of something that they want to do. I understand like law and doctors, yeah, that's something. But engineering, some of these things should be introduced. Just the basics of it should be introduced today. These kids knowing how to draw. These things, they shouldn't have to wait to go to get up in high school or something like that, or go to some type of art school to get. They should be that should be getting the basics, starting ground level when they enter school. Especially when you're seeing them starting to do it. Every kid is not an athlete. Academics is what some kids are born to excel at. Some kids are born to excel at academics and sports. But let's meet these children where they stand at. We can't let people like this Sharon Contreras, like, we don't even know your mission, ma'am. We don't know what is your mission, ma'am. You can't run things like a dictatorship. You can't be undermining folks that are there to help you, ma'am, Miss Sharon Contreras. Get on board or get off the board of education's premises and be gone, because you ain't doing nothing. It's time for you to stand up and have some ethics with yourself, some morals with yourself, some respect for yourself, and take pride in what you're doing. And take pride in these children. Over 69,000 freaking children in Guilford County. 125 schools in this county. What are you doing? We need to see something. We need to see something. That's my time, y'all. I'm your guy, Rashawn. Thank you for watching Space Invaders TV. I will continue every week on this journey, speaking on topics, as you see, concerning the school system here, concerning national, local events, concerning things that's going to teach us and motivate. I'm open to your comments. If I said something that was off, I had something wrong, it's an open floor. There's nobody here. I'm not judging anybody for your comments. I want this to be something that we talk about and express our feelings, because people have been walking around within this education system with bottled up emotions and feelings and not speaking on what they feel, and they're hiding. Understand that you don't want to lose your job, but we got to stand for something. Somebody has to talk. We can't always just talk about what top government isn't doing. When we have things right in our community that need to be addressed, that we need to, that's the training ground right there. Attacking the things in our community that are not looking right to us, and getting those out that are not doing the job right, because they're sitting there for their own gain. We cannot continue to let people think because they got some type of title and everything that they supposed to scare you. It's a title. It's a title. And if you got ethics and you got morals and you stand on principles, then no one who has that deals in those codes. If there's someone that doesn't deal in those codes, they should not scare you. Because those of us who deal with a code of ethics, we should not fear anyone who who does not deal in those codes. Like, they're beneath us if they don't have those codes of ethics. You should come with that about yourself. Code of ethics, morals, principles. You should have that within yourself first, because when you have that within yourself, your job, you're going to take pride in your job. It's going to show. And then ones that know when you come to your job and you come in there, you ain't coming to play. You came to do your job. And that's what it's about. And those who are in the way of this thing with this education, you need to get out the way. Because from the looks of the money, if you really want to ask me, it don't seem like enough money for all the students. 69,000, over 69,000 students and 125 schools. It don't seem like a lot of money anyway, but somebody need to start spending something, because it's just sitting there. Some changes need to start being made somewhere. We need to start stepping it up on how we addressing and handling the students, like what we presenting to them. We got to start stepping it up. We got to start meeting them where they stand at. You got to start making this thing a little more interesting to these children. You got to start backing these teachers up, because that's one hell of a job. I'm your guy, Rashawn. This is Space Invaders TV. Until next week, y'all be safe.